Now, President Cyril Ramaphosa has given the nod to the South African Post Office Amendment Bill to revive the ailing state-owned entity. In recent years, SAPO has received more than 10 billion rand in government bailouts. I'm joined now by Levy Zwane, who is the Democratic Postal and Communications Union's General Secretary, and joins us now. Levy, thank you so much for the time and thank you for joining us here on Newsroom. Very quickly, let's just unpack this. Your sentiments behind this change as well, ultimately expanding the South African Post Office's mandate as well as repurposing its infrastructure. Your thoughts, please.
Good afternoon, Arabile, and the listeners and the viewers at home. Well, we really like to welcome the pronunciation by the president because it's long overdue. Even if you can see that the enactments of some of the clauses there, those are the things that we always complained about in terms of post office. It's a government institution. Therefore, government must support it in terms of doing business with government. So at least those are kind of enactments in the current bill to ensure that post office becomes is sustainable going forward. Also, there are many positive things in terms also adjusting post office in terms of modern businesses going forward, because post office was really obsolete in terms of its business model. At least the current bill, it really addressed those kind of things that we always had issues with management previously and the shareholder.
Levy, at the same time, you speak about that modernization. That modernization could mean technological changes as well, which happened, which could possibly, not necessarily, but could possibly mean job losses. And at the same time, while having public-private partnerships, that could ultimately change the entire structure of where workers see themselves within the post office. Are you worried or concerned about that at all, or do you see that as a good measure?
No. Post office has already bled almost 4,800 employees in this current financial year. What is critical in terms of management now is to ensure that they reskill those remaining employees to be relevant in terms of the current business model, to ensure that we are getting an opportunity to ensure that going forward, the same employees with the different skills mindset going forward will ensure that post office becomes sustainable. There is no need of any issues of retrenchment. The current crop of employees have been carrying post office throughout difficult times, and I can assure you, even if the changes of business model, they can still be reskilled and be relevant in terms of post office in future.
Yeah, we'll certainly be speaking a little bit later on as well to Swali Malatsi, who's the Minister of Communications and Digital Technologies. If you were to be able to ask him a question right now, then with regards to the future of the South African Post Office, what would that be, Levy?
Look, critically in terms of the current minister, remember post office is currently under business risk. One critical thing is the support of the current minister in terms of business, current minister of post office moving away from business risk. And then it also includes the issue of commitment of government in terms of 3.8 bailout to ensure that there is investment in terms of infrastructure and other things so that post office can be relevant and be modernized, because even the current enactment by president, they really need a modern infrastructure to ensure that post office become relevant to the services or people who are servicing going forward. Other than that, if there is no support from the minister, we are still going to have a serious challenges in terms of those kind of things.
Levy, appreciate the time. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for. We had a bit of a struggle technologically as well, getting you online. So thank you so much for the time, though, and appreciate it joining us there. Of course, like we said, we'll be speaking to the Communications Minister a little bit later on as well on Prime to unpack this a little bit more.